Good afternoon and welcome to this Thursday's edition of Markets at Noon. I'm Nanta Arai in New Delhi, Pankaj Podar in Mumbai. The markets are continuing the momentum from yesterday's pharmaceuticals, not so much, and Cipla very much in focus, Pankaj.
Absolutely. We'll just get the management of Cipla in just a bit. Meanwhile, both the pharma companies are, focus. Okay, I've been told that we can go across to the management at Cipla. Umang, Vohra, Global CEO at Cipla, and Kedar, Upadhye, Global CFO at Cipla, is now joining us. Umang, congratulations on a good set of numbers. Let me come to you first. Can you describe the quarter for us? It seems to be marginally weak as far as US sales are concerned, but overall, you still get a sense on a YOY basis it's looking strong.
Yeah, that's right. I think we're actually higher than our internal estimates. We are satisfied with the growth numbers. I think there's been strong momentum across most of our markets, and of course there was a base effect in India in the previous year. That's why the growth looks a lot higher. But I'd like to thank every Ciplite everywhere in the world because they've made this result possible in an otherwise very tough environment. We've had commodity price increases. We're seeing volatility in foreign exchange. Pricing pressures across the world. So it's a very challenging environment, but I think we're happy with where we've reached in our numbers. And so overall, we're satisfied.
Right, Kedar, despite the margin miss that we've seen at a gross level, EBITDA miss is not that high, which means that you're focusing quite extensively on cost control.
So in this quarter, the mix of geographies and products was healthy. There was some benefit of currency and there was some impact of the cost inflation because of Chinese sourcing, commodities and oil price hike. So that's how it got balanced out. But our controls on the expenditure remained in this quarter, and that directionally will continue in the balance of the year as well. So as a result of all of that, the EBITDA margin was about 18.4%. That improved compared to quarter 4 by about 300 basis points. So we're happy we could have done a little bit better. Currency also came to a little bit of help. But going forward, as we continue to scale up the contribution from our limited competition launches in US, you could see margins improving further as well.
Hi Kedar, good afternoon. This is Nanta in New Delhi. Let's talk about the road ahead. Can you maintain the guidance of the high margin approval that has already been provided? Do you stand by what you have provided for per quarter?
And that's what has been happening in the last few quarters as well. In fact, few days back we spoke about our approval for diclofenac gel. That's a very nice product in US, and that will continue in the balance quarters as well. That directionally we are focusing on that. Launches are important, and getting market share and scaling up the revenues is also equally important. So we are focusing on both these priorities for the US market.
Umang, good afternoon. Let me come to you now. Do you expect Cipla to be in a sweet spot, swallow sweet pills, as you may emerge as a beneficiary of the changing environment in the United States? There's a low base effect at play. A solid pipeline is also expected to benefit from quicker review cycles. A lot of important drugs. The patents also coming to a close.
Yeah, I think we'd like to believe we're a lot more advantaged compared to some of the other players. But I have to say the US market's got a lot more competitive than we used to see it about 2 to 3 years back. But yes, compared to others, we're a lot more advantaged. Our base is not high. At the same time, the number of approvals comes relatively quicker, it's more predictable, and yes, we've gained. But I think what's also working for Cipla is the diversity of our global footprint. So in India, we have a nice, strong business. In South Africa, we have another very strong, we almost call both South Africa and India home markets. And in the emerging side of the world, we're well diversified. So I think we have a good diversity of businesses that's probably playing to our strengths right now. But I have to also say that we're very cautious because the pricing environment around the world is very difficult right now, and we're doing our best, and I think we hope to do better in the quarters ahead.
Kedar, what would you say about the US pricing pressure? Is it bottoming out?
So we'll have to watch out, Pankaj. I think our experience is the pricing pressure works product by product. So the products in which you have higher number of players, complexity is lower. Typically there the pricing pressure is the highest. If you have some hypothesis of limited competition, be it some intellectual property position, be it some litigation advantage, be it some control over API or a difficult to manufacture process, there the pricing pressure is relatively lower.